How are you feeling?
I feel relieved, I feel excited, I feel very honoured and lucky to be part of this mission in which I have so much faith.
It's a big jump for you, 3 decades as a Conservative MP. Any feedback from the Tory Chief Whip yet?
No, actually. Listen, I'm to be honest, I don't really care so much about what the Conservative Party says about me, thinks about me, does to me. It's in a very sad situation. It's in free fall. Personally, a lot of the people there I wish them well, and I'm now with a party that is much more aligned with my values, leaving the ECHR credible on patriotism, strong borders, low taxation, and really standing up for British people.
I've got to say, that attack on your mental health was below the belt. Why do they say that?
You'd have to ask them. Listen, I've come to be used to vicious attacks from Conservative colleagues. It's water off a duck's back for me. I think it says more about them than it does about me, to be honest. And
no plans for a by-election jumping ship?
No. There's been hundreds of defections now at local level, many at national level. And at the end of the day, I've actually been true and consistent in my beliefs. People know what they're getting. And in many ways, they're probably going to get a much more freer speaking local MP than they had as a Conservative.
Zia Yusuf was critical of you over the Afghan data leak last July. He's critical of a lot of Conservatives. Will you get on well with him?
Listen, Zia is a huge talent in Reform UK. He's a successful businessman and he's brought a huge amount of logistical and policy and strategic nous. And I'm really looking forward to working with him.
How many more Tories might come? Are you the last one before the drawbridge goes up?
I don't think I'm going to be the last one.
Who else is coming?
I don't know, but I know there are a lot of unhappy Conservative MPs really searching their souls right now. It's a big thing to do, and I think it's very difficult to grapple with this tension that many Conservative MPs are finding themselves with. Party versus country. And that is not an easy reconciliation. The way I think it should be resolved is by coming to Reform UK, to all of those right-wingers, those people who have been sound on borders, on Brexit, on policing, on law and order, on wanting to tackle Islamism, who agree with me on a lot of the things that I've been talking about. And I know there are some. Please, reform.
Well, how many more are thinking about it right now?
It's very hard for me to say. There's a handful of people who share my views. But yeah, there's a lot of low morale and a lot of fear within the Conservative Party right now.
And what do you want from the Reform UK? What job has Nigel Farage promised you?
No job has been promised. I am not here really for jobs. I am here to be part of a mission, put my shoulder to the wheel and help in any way that I can.
The big theme here at this press conference is getting the right to unite. That's what Nigel Farage says. Do you think that can happen? Can you unite with the Tory party before the election?
Not with the Conservative Party as it is right now, but basically the right is now represented by Reform UK. That is the right of British politics. The Conservative Party is depleted and diminished, and it's also shifting to the left, as I said in my remarks. It's the right of the Conservative Party no longer exists in any meaningful sense, and it's now a centrist, Lib Dem light, social democrat party, really. It's good at performative conservatism, but scrape beneath the surface, and it's quite a left-leaning party. And your message is finally to your local voters. They might be disappointed. They fought for you against that Labour landslide last July, in July 24. You won, but now you've left them in the lurch. Well, I'm very heartened by the wave of positive messages I've got from local people just today. I've been inundated with people begging me to join Reform at the local level for over a year now. And so I do acknowledge that there will be some local Conservatives who will be sad and disappointed. We've worked together in some cases for over a decade, and we've become like a family. And I want them to know this is not about them. Yep. This is not about them. This is about the National Party being totally at odds with what true Conservative values are. And, if they agree with me, if they support me, come to Reform UK.
Your passwords are your passwords, only for your eyes. But how safe is your phone or laptop or tablet? Well, watch this. I press one button and my phone is now shielded from hackers and prying eyes. ExpressVPN is your protector. Yes, you can protect all your passwords fast across multiple devices with ExpressVPN. Premium, fast and highly secure. Get big peace of mind for a low cost. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get up to 75% off, plus 4 extra months free, all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your online life today.
As I said this morning, this feels like coming home. And I am incredibly grateful for the welcome, the support, and the fact that I am finally part of a mission that I can believe in. Because the truth is, for the first time in years, I now feel that I can truly believe in something. And the truth is, as I said to our veterans earlier this morning, our country is broken and only Reform UK can fix it. That is why I've left the Conservatives and I have joined Reform today. Now, I've not taken this decision lightly. I very much understand why there will be some people, particularly in Fair and Waterlooville Conservatives, who have supported me over the years, who will be feeling disappointed and upset. And I want to say to them that this is not about you. To those local supporters who have confided in me about their frustrations with the Conservative Party, but who have only stayed put because of me, please join me. Come and join Reform UK. If you believe in saving Britain, strong borders, a strong economy and a strong defence. And to those who still believe that we should remain loyal to a party that has betrayed them and the country countless times, please listen to why I say that enough is enough. It's time to put country first. Because we are in the fight of our lives to save Britain. And only Reform UK can do it. Our country is in deep peril. Families are struggling to keep bills under control, businesses are being crippled, immigration is off the scale, taxes are at an all-time high, and yet services are at an all-time low. People don't feel safe anymore in their cities and towns, our borders are broken, and our country stands humiliated and weakened around the world. People are crying out for real change, or they're leaving the country. So we have a choice: more of the same failed consensus or radical brave leadership. And I choose the latter. And the only party that offers us that, with the solutions for the country and most importantly credibility, is Reform UK. I've had enough of Conservative betrayal. I've had enough of Conservative denial. I've had enough of the political chameleons who populate the Conservative Party. Enough of Conservative delusion. They are a party now that is too weak to save themselves, let alone the country. Now, I understand that being in a political party requires compromise and pragmatism. It also requires loyalty. But loyalty is a two-way street. If the party you joined no longer reflects the values and principles that it once did, you should question your allegiance. If the party keeps breaking its promises, you should question your loyalty. And now, too many promises lie in tatters. Too much damage has been done, and I no longer trust the Conservative Party. Let's look at the list of broken promises. The party promised time and again to cut immigration. It failed. But that failure was not just incompetence, it was deliberate. As Home Secretary, I tried so many times to cut the number of visas, only to be ignored by the Prime Minister, blocked by the Chancellor, and attacked by other Conservative cabinet colleagues. As a result, the numbers soared, and only started to come down after I managed to secure the first set of changes in May 2023. Too little, too late. Despite that great betrayal, I remained loyal. The party promised to do whatever it takes to stop the votes. As Home Secretary, I tried so many times. Lee and Andrew, you will know the frustration that we had in the Conservative Party. I tried so many times to persuade the Prime Minister that we needed to leave the ECHR. I was the first Conservative minister to call for us to leave the ECHR because I saw how it undermined our national sovereignty and our border security. What happened? Conservative colleagues attacked me and the Prime Minister blocked me. Only one other currently sitting Tory MP and myself rebelled on the Rwanda bill because of the ECHR. As a result, the votes kept coming. Now, yes, the Conservative Party has adopted my policy 3 years later. But even now, look closely. It's half-hearted, cautious. Half of the Conservative MPs are dead against it. And even the leader herself didn't support the policy until a few months ago. When it really mattered, when we had the majority, when we had the chance to do something about it, she sided with the Remainers and she opposed me. She had to wait for Lord Wolfson to give her permission to change her mind before she caved and copied reform. That's not leadership. That's fear, insecurity and weakness. And yet, despite another great betrayal, I remained loyal. The party promised to tackle Islamist extremism. But as Home Secretary, I told the Prime Minister that we needed to ban the hate marches, that the Met Commissioner was failing the Jewish community, and that two-tier policing was damaging public confidence. I warned him that someone was going to be killed. I was blocked and ignored, and then I was sacked for telling the truth. What happened 2 years later? Members of the Jewish community murdered on the streets of Britain. The Conservative Party should be disgusted with itself, frankly. They were murdered because of out-of-control anti-Semitism and complacent policing. At the time, not one of my Conservative ministerial colleagues backed me up when it mattered. Now they all rush to pontificate about two-tier policing and out-of-control extremism. Another great betrayal, and yet I stayed loyal. The party promised to tackle grooming gangs, but as Home Secretary, when I spoke out about the problem, saying that multiculturalism had failed, I was vilified and called Islamophobic by my own Conservative Party colleagues. Another great betrayal, and yet I stayed loyal. The party promised to stop trans in schools, something that I know Sarah has been campaigning vociferously on. But as Home Secretary, when I said that we needed to scrap the Equality Act and ban absolutely social transitioning in schools, Conservative colleagues blocked me and criticised me. The result? We still have young people socially transitioning in schools. Another great betrayal. You get the picture. The question really is, why did I stay around for so long? Because at every junction, when it really mattered, when the party had to do the right thing, when it had the power, those in charge chose to do the wrong thing. They chose the weak option. And many of those same people lead the party today. And yet I still stayed loyal. And when I diagnosed all of these problems after the last general election, the leader herself said I was having a nervous breakdown, something she seems to have repeated again today. As Nigel said, those attacks say more about them than they do about me. So for some years now, I think you can see that I have been out of step with the Conservative Party. And in truth, I have felt politically homeless for the best part of 2 years. I've been ashamed of the Conservative Party. It is why I spent the 2024 general election campaign apologising to local voters for my party's record and asking them to vote for me in spite of my party allegiance, not because of it. It's why I was the first Conservative MP re-elected that night to apologise directly to the nation for my party's failings. It is impossible to defend the party's record in office or to even believe in its policy for the future. The people, the instincts and the factions are all the same. But now is also the time to acknowledge a deeper truth about what is happening in the Conservative Party, much more important than any personal attacks or friction. Conflict and debate is normal in politics, and the battle between right and left has been there for decades within the Conservative Party. The Wets and the Thatcherites, the Remainers and the Leavers, the ERG, which I used to chair, or the One Nation. That is politics. No party is perfect. And the party I joined in the 1990s was about low taxes, Euroscepticism, law and order, tradition and patriotism. But less than a year after becoming a Tory MP in 2015, I found myself rebelling against David Cameron to support Brexit. Incidentally, almost exactly a decade ago, I sat down with the Prime Minister and I had to tell him, I'm afraid I can't support your Brexit deal. I had to put country above party. I thought my rebellion then would be a one-off. But it wasn't. To my horror, Theresa May then messed up Brexit. I had to resign from ministerial office. I rebelled not just once, but 3 times. With Andrew, a fellow Spartan, over her Brexit betrayal deal. There were 28 of us who held out. 28 of us believed in our nation's sovereignty, that it was obvious what we needed to do, put country before party. Later, I thought the Eurosceptic right of the party had won, after Boris became Prime Minister and Brexit was delivered in 2020. But you know what? I was wrong. Brexit was actually a facade for what turned out to be a largely Lib Dem, socialist-light agenda. Because after 2020, what did we see? Out-of-control immigration, Northern Ireland siphoned off, EU rules still applying in the UK, the highest tax burden in 70 years, a bigger welfare state, weak borders, and woke ideology taking over our institutions. Where had the Brexit that we had all fought for, including this man, where had it gone? So what followed Brexit was my rather lonely attempts to cut immigration, leave the ECHR, tackle Islamism and boot out failing police chiefs. On none of those questions was the party with me, and I stood alone. So the time has come to admit defeat. I'm on the right, proudly on the right of British politics, but the right has lost the battle for the Conservative Party. I tried with all my might. I took a few for the team. But the One Nation Wets have won the Conservative Party. The centrists control it, they populate it, and they are welcome to it. The truth is that in recent years, I have found myself effectively in a social democrat, left-leaning party made up of Conservatives in name only, Chino. No wonder I have felt politically homeless for years. So I've come to the irresistible conclusion that the Conservative Party is not a Conservative Party. It is very good at performative conservatism, but we all know the truth. When the cameras are off, when the doors are shut, when they're all sat round the table making the big decisions for the nation, the Conservatives will cave. I've tried to balance the need for compromise with my own political views, but this is now impossible. The betrayal is too frequent and my loyalty has been abused. So it is time. I've been patient. I have waited to see if the party would change, but the truth is clear. It has not and it will not. The Conservative Party has gone. The Conservative Party has left the building. That is why today I am announcing, and I have announced, that I've resigned the Conservative whip and my membership, one that's endured 30 years, a party in which I grew up, in which I supported my mother as a local councillor for 16 years, when she stood as a Conservative MP herself, and on which I've been a for which I've been an MP for a decade. Now, I don't leave the Conservative Party with malice or anger or bitterness. That passed a long time ago. But with an element of sadness when I look at what a once great party has descended into. So I have mixed feelings today. I am sad about leaving a political family, especially those members, friends and supporters in Fareham and Waterlooville, people with whom I've worked for a decade for the local community. They are all unsung heroes. And I understand that many of them, some of them, will be feeling hurt by my decision. And I regret that my decision may have hurt them, and I apologise for that. But I very much hope that many of them will join me at Reform UK. And I'm also incredibly excited and honoured and feel very lucky to be joining Reform UK today. You see, there is another way. We can rescue our country and turn it around. We just need a leader in whom we can believe. Someone who hasn't twisted and turned with the wind. Someone who hasn't jumped on the next passing trend just to get votes. The thing with Nigel is that he just keeps going. They try and shut him down. They try to demonise him. They throw all sorts at him. They all try and vilify him. But he doesn't get blown off course. You don't seem to be blowing him off course. You here in the room, the journalists, the media, the mainstream establishment. He actually gets stronger. That is remarkable. It's actually unique in British politics, which is packed with craven, superficial careerists, particularly the Conservative Party. He's not in politics for titles or for promotions. He is in politics to actually do something, to actually mean something, to actually save the country that he loves. He has this unique power to articulate our fears, our anger, our frustration, but also the direction of where we can head to. He's speaking for so many millions of people right now. Millions of people who are smeared as racist just for wanting their country back. Millions of people vilified as bigots just for wanting to stop the boats. Millions of people who are being judged by the establishment just because they want more safety, more fairness and more security in the country they thought they could call home. And that steadfast, determined courage is exactly what Britain needs more of. And that's why I'm very proud to support Nigel. And he's the only man that I trust to lead this party as Prime Minister. And I'm going to do everything in my power to get him there. You won't find tweets by me criticising Nigel Farage. You won't find any speeches by me on the internet having a go at him, because I have largely agreed with Nigel for years. And in fact, there are times over the past few years where I have done and said things as Home Secretary or Attorney General. My Conservative colleagues have criticised me, and Nigel Farage has been the only mainstream politician to come out and support me. He speaks for me, and I know that he speaks for thousands of people in Fareham and Waterlooville and millions of people around the country. He has built a formidable operation. This is more than a political party. It is a movement. It is a mission that is serious, deadly serious about saving Britain. He has assembled a fantastic team of brilliant minds, accomplished individuals, all of whom are making an invaluable contribution right now. And I am proud and excited to join him today. Thank you.